Hey everyone. So today we're going to talk about how to build UI in the age of AI. I'm Mattia, one of the co-founders of Reweb, and we're building a tool that combines AI with visual editing to build interfaces faster. And yeah, excited to show you a little bit about what we're doing in just a little bit. But for now, let's get started. I think we all agree on this, that no one wants to write code from scratch to build user interfaces, because we've just seen that there are obviously more efficient ways, so this is not an option anymore. So what are the ways that we have instead? First, I want to look at some tools that have actually been around for quite a while. You can call them no-code tools, low-code, visual builders, whatever. There's like 100 names, but I'm sure you've heard of some of them, like Webflow, Framer, right? And these tools are pretty cool because you can use them to build visually instead of writing code from scratch, which comes with some benefits like using pre-built components, collaboration with technical and non-technical people. We have a drag and drop nice interface. So these things are cool, but the problem is that they're very hard to use. Often the learning curve is pretty steep. And the biggest issue is that they just don't integrate with our tech stack. These tools just don't give us code that we can just copy paste over to our code base and actually ship it to production. So this often ends up working only for marketing websites or simple apps, but not for like big production applications. And more recently, we all know, I hope, that AI is being completely changed in this, and we have a new wave of tools that work in a very different way. So I'm sure you'll have heard of V0, Bolt, Lovable. These tools are great because they're very easy to use, first of all. You just gotta chat with an agent, you ask in plain English what you want, and suddenly you see this UI kind of manifesting in front of our eyes. So the UX is a lot better. You just ask for what you want, and you kind of get it. And they're also great because they integrate with our stack. Most of them are built on React or Tailwind or very popular technologies that we will use anyways when we write code. So that means that we can actually get that code that they produce and just copy paste it over to our app and like keep working on it, keep iterating. So we're not kind of locked on a platform like we often do with the no-code builders. However, the biggest issue of these tools, in my opinion, is they lack control and customization, especially on the design side. And these tools are built mainly for chatting and prompting, but when you can't just really click on something and make it look exactly how you want. So if you use any of these tools, I'm sure you end up in a situation that I kind of call prompt hell, where you're just like prompting for very simple things, like where prompting is just not very efficient. Maybe you just want to make a button like 10 pixels bigger, and you need to wait like 2 minutes for the AI to do that. And then maybe you realize, actually, I want it 3 pixels bigger. And so there's not this like direct connection with what you're creating for the design part. And that often ends up being very tedious. So this might not be an issue if you're just building a simple side project, but maybe if you don't want your site to look like all the AI-generated sites out there, maybe you have brand guidelines, you need more customization, then this might be an issue. So my question today is, can we have the best of both worlds? Because to me, the ideal UX for building user interfaces for the web is a mix of what we've seen, what we discussed. You can use prompting to go from 0 to 1, and that's where AI shines. But it also use visual editing for those quicker edits that in the end, they sum up to make your site truly custom. So this is what we're doing at Reweb. With Reweb, you can combine AI and visual editing using the right tool when it's the most efficient. And you can export the code without being like locked on a platform. You can get the code, get complete control over it, which means you can also, of course, integrate with any CMS like Strapi. And let's just jump into a demo. So we're going to build a simple e-commerce page with Reweb. I'm just going to start feeding an image to the AI assistant and just let it work. So this is the phase where AI is just amazing. We have a blank canvas. We don't want to build from scratch. We're going to go from 0 to something and get a starting point that we use. Hopefully the Wi-Fi helps us here. Okay, it's going. And just for reference, this is the image that I feed. It's just a simple screenshot that I grabbed on Dribble. And we see the AI building this UI for us. This is stuff that will take a lot of time. We don't want to write code. we don't want to do it with any sort of visual interface. We want to get to this starting point the faster we can, and the AI is just like the best at that. So we see that it's generating what we need, and this should be done pretty soon. Cool. So the cool thing now is that we actually get to have control over this UI. We can now choose whether to keep prompting, maybe to customize and edit, make some edits, or we can do it visually. We can select anything on the screen and just like make it look how we want. And we mainly have two ways of doing this. First is just using Tailwind. So if you're a developer, you don't have to learn like a new mindset, new mental model. You just use the technologies that we love, like Tailwind. So if I want to change the text size, I can just remove classes or add some more classes and like change it in this way. Or if you're more like a design person or a non-technical person, then we have a no-code interface that you can use. And this is like simple drop-downs and like a lot easier to use for non-technical people. And so yeah, this is like, these are faster edits. It just wouldn't make sense to ask the AI, hey, change the size of the text, change the order of 2 sections. What if we can just like drag and drop and see what we like the most? Or we want more colors, let's duplicate it with some shortcuts. So this is like pretty much all the features that you see on tools like Framer or Webflow, but mixed with the power of AI to build this interface. Or if we want to add some components, there are some pre-built components that we can use. Maybe we want a header for this page, and we can just like search for header and use the pre-built block that Reweb comes with. And anything we see on the screen can be turned into code super easy, because then we don't want to be locked on this platform. We want to get code that we can use in our production app. So if I right-click anything and see view or edit code, this is just a React, Tailwind, and Chassis and UI component, and we can bring it over to our code base and keep working on this. Or even better, we can use a CLI command. If we right-click on here and select Add to Code Base, we can copy-paste this to our terminal. So here I have a simple Next.js project. It's just an empty page right now, but I'm going to open a new terminal, paste this command, and run it. And behind the scenes is using the Chassis and CLI, is downloading all the files, installing the dependencies, and just like bringing over what we need. So these are now our UI over to Next.js. And that's important because oftentimes, as I was telling you at the beginning, like these low-code tools often constrain you to be on the platform, but then actually getting the code and being able to have control over it is really powerful, because now we can really do whatever we want. A natural next step, if we want to make our content dynamics, for example, is to connect to Strapi. And we actually have a simple demo project that Paul from Strapi built with Reweb and Strapi. So feel free to scan this and like play around with it if you're interested. So yeah, to recap, we use some AI for going to from 0 to 1. That's the phase where AI just helps us a lot. But sometimes visual editing really shines for doing these quicker edits than in the end make your site actually how you want it. And the true power, I think, personally, is to bring them together and use the right tool for the right thing, whatever the tool is most efficient. Because in this way, we can avoid to build from scratch, because like we said at the beginning, no one wants to, but we can also keep flexibility. Yeah, we have a lot of features coming up soon, so if you're interested, this is where you can find us. And thanks for listening.
All right, thank you, Mattia. Thank you, thank you, thank you.